Good morning, everybody. Let's start with gratitude this beautiful Monday morning. Who's got some gratitude or a bucket fill?
My husband under contract. So yay.
Yes, that's awesome. Great job, Carla. Was that your listing?
Yes, yes,
All right, that's even better, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Who else got gratitude or a bucket fill? Come on, guys. It's Monday morning. Wake up. Start your day with gratitude, then you can't have a bad day. I've got one for my baby Winnie. She actually stood up over the weekend, 7 months old, and she pulled herself up. So I don't know if that's gratitude or just like something fun. It's something fun.
No,
Yeah.
you gotta be grateful.
I was grateful that I was there to see it.
Thank you.
There you go. Okay. Who else? One more. Amber. Amber, I saw you I saw your
You saw a flash. What am I contributing?
what are you grateful for today?
Oh, I'm grateful for the fans on my back porch.
Ah,
Yeah.
your fans and they're working, right?
Yes, I had to pause lead gen just to get on here.
Love it. All right. Chip, you want to?
Yeah, so here's what we wanted to do today. We have spent some time on these calls, really kind of breaking down a lot of different ways of how we analyze how the market performs, right? Like what's happening with the market, looking at different data sets, looking at different resources we have, how can we kind of tell the story, how can we educate the consumers, all that wonderful stuff. What Robin and I thought would be really cool today would be to shift this a little bit in our conversation. And let's see how we are performing in the market. Okay. So what we do is we have this thing, these reports. I know you guys see these in team meetings here a lot. I used to cover these a lot years ago in team meetings. So here's the thing, guys. I want to look at, can we go to the one with the yellow and green?
Sure. Let's just go to share.
So we have this program, the piece of technology we can go to that basically pulls down all the information directly from the MLS. And then, like anything, there's certain things we can ask for. And in this one, I think it's a no. All right. Here we go. There, perfect. So this is like, we call this market share, right? And here's what it really starts telling us when I look at this one. This breaks everything down by the number of units we have closed, residential units that we have closed. And in this case, this will be for the month of June. And this one here, we've got what we call an area of focus, which is certain zip codes, which are zip codes that the majority of our business gets closed in, right? Just to keep setting the stage for this a little bit, we can pull this data for counties, we can pull it for cities, zip codes, neighborhoods. So as I'm sharing this and as we're going through this, if there's ever a time you guys need information that you can utilize in an appointment, we'll kind of show you how to do that in a minute. We can get this data for you. Okay, so this is stuff that you can include in all of your presentations and conversations.
Well, I think the conversation that you and I were having this morning was there was an agent in a particular area
Yeah,
that the seller was like, well, what I've heard is you guys don't sell in my area. And so you were able to pull some information for that person. We ended
Yeah.
up, what was it, every 1 in 3 homes?
yeah, if we looked at all the Keller Williams collectively in that area, 1 out of 4 homes this year were listed by a KW agent. So I didn't pull it specifically for the office she was affiliated with, but we looked at all of them that showed up on like a report like this, and that became the story. So here's a potential listing appointment for her that she couldn't get. When all of a sudden, because the guys that go, I Google you guys, you don't sell anything here. That's not true.
Not true, right?
Because it wasn't even just listing them, this was actually, we were closing.
Well, sometimes it's not even something like that where they've actually looked it up. It's a competitor going in saying they're number one when they're really not. I just got an email from an agent in one of these brokerages that at literally the signature line was they were #1 brokerage. And I was like, I wanted to write back and say, where did you find the data?
Right,
Right? Because it's clearly they were not #1.
correct.
So let's keep going, sorry.
No, it's a great point. So let's look at the month of June. How are we performing in the market? In this case, as a market center. And again, these are gonna be closed units total. And you can see we have, as a market center, almost 6% market share. Now, here's the thing that I want you guys to understand about this. First of all, let me go a little bit deeper with this. What this does, when we ask for these reports, this particular graph right here maps out the top 10 brokerages for the area and the criteria that we're looking for.
Right.
Okay, so that's showing us on this graph, the top 10. We can actually look then at a line by line sort of Excel sheet that breaks it down to any brokerage that sold at least 1 unit. So we can actually look at every single brokerage of who sold what.
Yeah.
Okay,
And yellow represents buy sides and the green is listings.
correct, yep. So let's look at this. So 5.7% market share may not sound like a lot, but guess what, guys? For the month of June, in this area of focus we're talking about, you're #1 in market share.
Mhm.
Now here's the thing, I'm gonna even give you another disclaimer on this, kind of explain it further. So we look at units closed, there's also a volume closed category. I always am the guy who's gonna focus on units. Why? Because units test the effectiveness of our lead generation and our lead follow-up. You know, in other words, we could get a referral, we can generate a lead, we can generate an appointment with a seller, with a buyer for 300,000, 500,000, 5 million, whatever. Sure, we like the volume play, but the units tell us how effective are we at doing our job consistently.
Well, also units protect you against any market shift.
Absolutely,
So some people will focus on volume and then the market shifts and all of a sudden they've got a problem.
they have a huge problem.
Mhm.
You know, I wanna have an average sale price of 1.5 million, the market shifts, okay, great, you're still gonna have a 1.5 million average, which might become a 1.4, by the way, if the market shifts too much.
Mhm.
But what if it takes a lot longer to get those done?
Right, right.
So I always wanna keep an eye on units. Units are the telling tale to me. So we've got almost 6% market share in the month of June in this area of focus on closing, helping people close homes, buy homes successfully. And that makes you #1 in the market. So imagine now you're out there sharing this with a consumer, or somebody's going, well, you know, I don't know if now's the right time, or I don't know, or I'm thinking about listing with my cousin's niece who just got her license yesterday, you know, to give her a shot. I'm not saying don't give people a shot, but give yourself, as a seller, as a buyer, give yourself the best at bat. Because while Keller Williams Valentine on this one is #1, who's #3? Keller Williams South Park, right? So now, here's the thing, we're all independently, you know, owned and operated franchises. But if I combine South Park and I combine Valentine, now we're sitting at 9.9. You might as well say that's a 10. So in the month of June, 1 out of 10 homes that closed in this area of focus was done by a Keller Williams office and Keller Williams agent.
Well, and I think what's really important too to know is like when you're looking at the Compasses of the world, the Coldwell Bankers of the world, that's a collective number for the entire state of North Carolina. Okay, so that's huge when you think about that. You may look at Compass and go, well, gosh, they're pretty close to Valentine. Well, remember, that's the entire state for Compass. It's not, we're just one office and we're still beating them.
Yeah.
So you guys, I think it's just so important to know who you're in business with. And I would take this graph to every single listing appointment. Now, what I would do is I would take a Sharpie and get rid of the names of the other companies, just because culturally that's the right thing to do. You never want to post something like this on Facebook, even though the information is coming from Brokermetrics are pulling the numbers exactly from everything that's sold. It's just the right thing to do to black out. It's fine to leave, of course, Keller Williams Valentine is #1 there in market share. It tells the story, right?
Now, the one thing I will say to that, Robin, I have used like this sheet before in an appointment with a seller. And I didn't black out the brokerages.
No, you left him?
I left them, and here's what it did for me. The seller said, well, the agent I was considering listing with
Hmm,
isn't in the top 10 on your sheet.
okay, maybe just on social media.
But
Okay, don't.
you see where I'm
Take it out
going
of
with
social
this?
media, go to the, you can do it on the seller, yeah.
So the perception was, I'm gonna talk to this agent, I really think I'm gonna list with this agent, because I've seen her sign in the neighborhood a couple of times.
Gotcha, yeah.
Therefore, the perception was the neighborhood expert, but reality showed up. And she / her brokerage was not even part of the top 10.
Hmm, wow, yeah.
All right, so that's how we did overall with total units. Let's break it down a little bit.
Any
further.
questions on this, as you're looking at this? Any ahas?
Okay, so next, what I'd like to do, I think we scroll up now. This is the list side. No,
The
this on
contract.
contract, sorry.
You
at
want,
the bottom.
you want, okay.
Yeah, I wanna go to the list next. So we know we list the last, right? That's the bulk of what we do. That gives us our leverage, that drives our entire business. That's the focus of what we should be doing. So how are we doing on the list side? Again, these are gonna be listings closed, month of June. There's the zip codes listed, the area of focus, and the breakdown too of what the residential looks like. This one actually even includes lots, acres, and farms too. So here we go again. Let's look at this for the month of June on the list side. 5.5% market share. Average days on market for our listings that closed in June was 32. Number 2, Compass, number 3, KW South Park, and all the way down the line. So again, if a seller is sitting there going, well, I think we're gonna interview these other firms or somebody from a different firm. This is why just one pager, this one visual is so important to have in your presentations, in your conversations. Could we break this down for you further? Absolutely. Just all you gotta do is let us know. It literally just takes us a couple of minutes to go in and pull this information.
Yeah.
There was an agent that I coached in this office a couple of years ago. I helped her because she, in her farm area, she kept getting kind of like knocked out. She wasn't like taking the listen. She was getting frustrated with that. And, she got some feedback from one of her appointments. So we went in and we looked at this information in a way that really kind of gave her a different perspective of it. That was, you're doing fine. You're not getting 100% no, but you're not missing out on, what you think is as much as you are. And when I showed her the visual and then she started using it in her presentations, her conversion started to go back up.
All right, so let's just help them, Chip, with a script. So
Okay.
you're going on a listing appointment and I'm gonna pull this out.
Yep.
And I'm gonna leave all the names in the listing appointment, but I'm gonna
Yep.
take them out on social media.
Yep.
What conversation am I having with the seller right now?
All right, so based on everything that I've shared with you so far, Mr. Seller, what is it you're looking for in an agent, right? So what is it like when you make the decision to choose that person who's gonna get your home sold? What's most important to you?
Well, obviously, we need to sell quickly
Okay.
and for the highest price.
All right, so here's what I want to show you. Obviously, we've gone through the comps, we've done the CMA, we're looking at that. Now, I want to show you because the other thing you brought up earlier was that it's taking longer, right? It's taking longer in the market. People are taking huge discounts and all of this. So here's what I want to show you with this report right here. In the month of June, and the area we're talking about, our brokerage, our company, we perform number 1 in terms of getting these listings sold, and we're doing it inside of 32 days. So it's taking about a month to get the properties under contract, and then another month to close after that. So does 60 days sound like a timeline that's agreeable to you?
Yeah, that would be great.
Awesome.
We could do that.
Awesome. So that's what, we want to show here. Well, we're coming off of our role play here real quick. The other thing we can include on this, we have the option to go in and start looking at like the differences between the actual close price and the original list price. We can include those, just like it shows up here as on the DOM, the days on market. we can include that in there too, especially if it is gonna tell a powerful story. For example, maybe if we're coming in at like 98% of original list price. 2% is not a huge discount to the seller,
Right.
right? So if they're listing at 600,000, and here's what we're really saying, maybe you're gonna sell it about, 585 to 590 is kind of what the market's telling us. Because we have really, and by the way, we'll go back into the role play here real quick. There's a reason me as an agent talking to you made the decision to join the office I did. Because we show up and we perform really well for our clients all the time, and that was important to me with who I affiliate.
Yeah. Great stuff. Questions, comments, ahas? Nobody?
But he's wowed.
I know, they're like stunned.
All right, so let's go up, see how we're doing with what we have put under
I
contract.
have a question. Sorry, I just couldn't find where to raise my hand.
Yeah, hey Pamela.
Sorry about that. So if I wanted this report for a specific zip code, who do I reach out to? And what information do you need from me? I want the zip code. I want a specific list price. How can I narrow it down?
Yeah, so Pamela, you just reach out to me and I will pull that information for you. Any information that you need for that appointment, just let me know. I'll pull it for you and I'll send it over.
Yeah, you
Okay,
can also
thank you.
reach out to me, I can do the same.
Yeah,
thing.
or Chip.
Or both of us, happy to help.
Thank you.
We want you guys to be the best prepared, so that we want you to get more appointments, more at bats, if you will. But we really want to help you convert more and truly be out there helping more people buy and sell homes.
Hey, can I just throw something in on that?
Sure.
Pamela, you may not want to do one zip code. You may want to tell Robin or Chip, like, hey, this is one zip code. This is the zip code and the 2 surrounding zip codes, just to make sure the numbers look appropriate. Because if it's one specific zip code and we're not doing a ton in there, then it may not work to your advantage. That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm very good at looking at data that tells the story the right way.
Tell us
Yeah.
the story that we wanted to tell,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can definitely,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great point, PJ. Thank you for that.
All you gotta do is let us know what it is you're trying to accomplish. And then we can get the right information so that you're getting that done by using this tool.
All right, let's take a look at this one.
All right, so this is under contract units. Again, month of June, same story we talked about, right? So here we go, guys. Look at this. 5.8% market share, average days on market. I think that says 36 or 38. For what we have put under contract in the month of June. And this one to me kind of stands out pretty large because the second closest competitor is like a whole 1.5% behind us.
Which is huge in this market, by the way.
Yeah, with a market that's performing a little bit slower, we're not seeing the level of activity. To see that kind of a gap, is pretty powerful.
Mhm.
And it shows again, the power of the training we do, the power of these kind of conversations, giving you guys the right skills, the right resources to go out and have the conversations you need to have to help those people. I mean, this is where it shows up.
Well, not only are you taking the listing, you're putting them under contract, you're going to closing, so.
Absolutely, we're getting the job done.
Mhm.
We're getting the job.
And that's all a client really wants to hear, is that you can get the job done.
Get it done, you're not gonna cost me a fortune, it's not gonna take forever to get there.
Yeah,
And what I love about this one, okay, again, I'll include our fellow KWs, 3 of the top 10 are KW offices.
yeah, so again, if we combined those numbers with, just like some of these other companies do, no one's even, can't even touch us.
We're again, a little bit better than 1 out of 10 under contracts in June, we're a KW officer agent.
Yeah, what I love about Keller Williams is we're so humble, what I hate about Keller Williams is we're so humble.
Yeah.
Right? So tell your story. I mean, people want to hear the story. They want to work with successful professionals that can get the job done. Right? And so I think we just need to get out there more and tell this story more.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Anything on this one that anyone has a question about?
All right, guys, so we can pull again. A wide, variety of different, criteria that we can put into this. You can look at, there's a lot of different things that we can definitely get access to. These are three. I had actually pulled some additional ones this morning, but unfortunately, when I saved them on my computer at home, they saved as CSV files, as Excel sheets, and not these graphs.
I think the
Because
graphs are more powerful.
the graphs are a lot more powerful than looking at a Excel sheet, right? So I wanted to take a look, for example, at like some counties. How are we doing in the county area? And what I found, again, were very similar stories. So I pulled, the first thing I looked at was Mecklenburg, Lancaster, York, Union County. I looked at those four. And, and I looked year to date too. I went year to date on this one. For overall, were we number one in all the categories? No, but were we typically in top three? Yes, absolutely. And then I went even wider. Then I wanted all the counties in the Charlotte metro area, which now I'm adding, surrounding Gaston and Iredell, Lincoln, Cabarrus, Catawba, that whole area. I focused on that. Again, we're still top three, top four, because our agents have a wide range to go into. And then we even try to take a look at some of the triad area. The only issue with that is that this program we use only ties into any of the data that is actually in the Canopy MLS. So some of it's in there, but it doesn't really tell the full story of all.
Right, but we will get that information and start adding, because we know a lot of you are doing business in that triad area, so we wanna make sure you have the same tools.
Yeah, we still showed up. We showed up on the graph actually in the top 10, even out of just the Canopy.
Right,
But we want to make sure we get all of it. All right, anybody have any success stories of using anything that we're talking about, excuse me, in the past to help you get an appointment, convert an appointment, anything at all?
anyone started to use some of this information that you can share?
I did for my listing, actually, the one that were under contract, because I barely use SAMs. And since you put it on in the last appointment, in the last meeting, I was like, what is that? So I start figuring out more. And then when I see with Chip, I was like, okay, can you tell me how to use SAM? And when we got the offers, that my sellers were like, no, I want to get more money. And they're taking advantage of us. They were very disappointed. They were thinking like they were being tricked. And I was like, that's not the situation. Let me show you the numbers. And we from the beginning, we talk about how many days the house going to be in the market, but they expect, and I think that's a mindset also in the seller. Like when we say it's going to take 30 days, for them, it's just, okay, 30 days with this price, and that's okay. And then we need to switch. Look, it's going to take 30 days, depending we do the right things on the movements on the price, because they were thinking like it's going to take 30 days, but we're not going to move the price. And I specified the price, and they were like, we should have put it higher so we can have more advantage on the price when they come with a price reduction. I was like, that's not how it works. And when I start showing the numbers and I start showing the days on the market and how long it's gonna take, they're finally like something click, and I see the wife's eyes like, oh, you're saying like if we say no to this offer, it's just gonna stay more longer, and we're not sure we're gonna get this offer. Yes, that's what I'm saying right now. So let's work it out, this offer. So we went with a great due diligence for that price point. And at the end of the day, like we're like, okay. So explaining with the numbers, I think for them that will make a lot of sense that they were not being taken advantage. It's but the market and their value, because as a sellers, you are like, my house value is this amount, and you're putting your heart in your definition of value, know what the market is saying.
Yeah, Carla, you took an opinion out of
Yes.
the conversation, right? You took your opinion out of the conversation, you gave real facts.
Mhm.
That's so powerful. Great job. I know the client you're talking about, so that's, I know you've been struggling with that one, so great job.
Yeah, thank you.
Who else? Anybody else? Anybody coming up against something that they need help with on this call? Like, are you something that you might be, a listing appointment that you might be meeting with, or a buyer, or anything that we can help you with in our last 4 minutes before we finish our day today? Everybody just crushing it? Way to go.
All appointments, well, we're doing good.
We are doing good.
We're doing
Wouldn't it
good.
be fun to see that like 5.8 though jump to like
Oh.
10% market share?
Yeah, let's just get 10 on our own.
Yes,
That's the other KW help.
let's crush. Yeah, let's crush it.
Hey, can I throw one thing in here?
Sure.
I was just thinking about this, and we used to use this and we don't, and I think our team's probably going to revisit this because we do something a little bit similar for one neighborhood that we specifically sell a lot in. So thank you for the reminder and bringing it back up. Yet, is anybody on here from the growth committee? Shouldn't we be using this at Superior for recruiting purposes?
Yes. I can
Right.
speak to that. I think that's a fantastic idea. And I had not thought about that, so I appreciate that.
You know, Robin and I can speak to that. Lord knows we've had a couple of recruiting appointments in our careers. And occasionally we hear this, right? Because they've already had a conversation with another brokerage as a brand new agent. And they're like, well, I'm gonna go here because they got all the market share. And then we pull out something like this and they go, huh. You know, again, it's just, we just gotta retell the story sometimes with reality instead of just using words.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and-
brought it to present. Oh, I love that, Sandra. Go ahead, PJ.
No, I was just going to say to Robin's point about being so humble, I share the frustration because I don't think we've ever done a really good job of telling our story. You know, everybody looks to a Sotheby's or a Compass for luxury listings when really Keller Williams is leading the pack in luxury. And I don't think we do a good job of telling that story either. So just, yeah, we got to figure out a better way to get the story out.
Yeah, we sell more luxury property, more property over $1 million than anyone in the entire world. So, but how many people know that? The other thing that we can help each other with, you guys, you'll see me posting. If you're a friend of mine or you're following me and you post something, I'm going to comment on your post. I'm doing that purposely to help you in your engagement. So we could all do a better job of helping one another. If somebody has a story, post on social media about this in order to attract more sales. Yeah. Great question, Maria. We'll answer that in just a second. You guys just comment, tell them congratulations, beautiful home. Can't wait to bring a buyer to this one. Whatever you want to write, but the more comments, not just likes, by the way, likes don't really help anyone. The comments help everyone. So about 7% of your followers or your people in your database will see your content. Once you get to 10 or more people commenting, it goes to like 72%. So we can help one another. And by the way, the more Keller Williams signs that go in the yard, it only helps you on your next appointment. That market share only helps you. All right. So let's be the biggest cheerleaders for our agents within our office to help one another continue to grow market share and help one another. The question in the chat about social media, what would you recommend on that? You know what I would do? I'm just gonna jump in here.
Yeah.
I would take that chart and I can post these in our Facebook group, but I would take that. If you're going to do it on social media, I would take the only thing I would just black out the other names, but I would just say super excited today. I was on our Monday market update call with my brokerage. We get great training there, and I'm super excited to shout out that we're #1 in the, whatever you're gonna talk about, units, listings taken out of the brokerages within this area.
And one other thing, and something that came to mind too, and I was kind of telling you guys how we can utilize this. PJ brought it up in terms of like the price and talking about luxury. We can break this down by price too, not
Yeah,
just geographic
we can.
area. We can look at bedroom counts, we can look at everything. So just, let us know what it is you're trying to accomplish. And let us go create the right one for you.
And even if you did, Maria, even if you did a quick, you spent $20 on a paid ad. And by the way, you guys do that through command. Don't just do it through Facebook.
Yeah,
For those of you that don't know, we have an exclusive relationship with Facebook and Google. And so our ads come in at about $2 per lead versus $14 to $25 per lead if you do it individually. So no other brokerage has that exclusive relationship with Facebook and Google. So if you're doing a paid ad, make sure you're doing it through command. Super, super important. But you could do a really quick ad to attract, looking to list your home with the #1 company in the Charlotte metro area. Here you go. Here's the stats, and just post a graph.
And real quick, when you do the ranking report of offices in the whole canopy, we're #1 in the whole canopy MLS for number of units year to date.
there you go.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Yeah, so easy peasy. If you're looking to attract, remember, over 125 people are moving to the Charlotte metro area every single day. So what I would do if I was gonna run an ad, I'd probably see where they're migrating in from. By the way, you can check that in command. It'll show you the percentages of the people moving in and where they're moving from. So let's say it's California or New York or Florida or whatever, I would direct that ad to the people in that area, because they're the ones looking for a great real estate agent to move to our area. Okay, and if you need help with that, Rob Miller, our new tech person, or come see me, Darren, and we can help you with that. New York, Ohio are the top 3. Yep, Nathan? Yeah. New Jersey, New York, and Ohio. Yep. All of us northerners that came south that'll never go back north. Yep.
Correct, we're here.
We're here to stay. All right, guys, was this helpful?
Appreciate everybody. Happy Monday. Let us
Happy
know.
Monday.
Help.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Team meeting tomorrow, guys. Be here. Great panel. We also, investment club on Thursday, and then sign up for the KWB Fun Day, August 2nd. So lots going on this week. See you guys later.
Bye.